Standard, numeric, and expanded forms. There are a few ways that we learn to read and write numbers. We learn to write them in number form using digits to show different amounts of things. Writing a number in this way is known as standard form. So we have 10 fingers. We could say 25 cookies, or 24 hours, or 365 days. And we can also say 1,400 people. Write the number that the base 10 blocks represent in standard form. So if we look, we have a 10 by 10 set of blocks, and 10 by 10 sets of blocks represent 100, and we have 2 of those sets of 100 blocks. So let's put a 2 in the hundreds column. We have 3 tens, which represent 30. So let's put a 3 in the tens column. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single blocks, which represent the ones column. So we have 235 base 10 blocks. We can also write numbers in what's known as expanded form to show the value of each digit. For example, we can write 20 plus 5, which equals 25. To represent the number 365, we can expand it to be 300 plus 60 plus 5. Similarly, with 1,400, we can represent it as 1,000 plus 400. And this is what's known as expanded form. Expand means to stretch out. So if you put the palms of your hands together and then pull them apart, that's actually expanding. In mathematics, expanding a number means to pull it apart to show the value of each digit, or to write each place value column as its full value. So writing numbers in expanded form helps us to understand the value of a digit in a number. Let's see what expanded form looks like with the number 13. In the number 13, we have a 1 in the tens column, and we have a 3 in the ones column. And with the blocks, the 1 is represented by this stack, and we have 3 individuals. When we write the number 13 in expanded form, it is 10 plus 3, which does equal 13. The question is, where does this 10 come from? Pause this video and take a moment to think about the answer. When you are ready, you can unpause it. The 1 digit is in the tens place, so it represents or shows 1 unit of 10. And the 1 digit has a value of 10 because it's a stack of 10 blocks. Count the blocks and write the amount on the place value chart. Then try to show the expanded form. And we can reveal the answers as we work through the problem. So first, let's analyze the types of blocks that we have here. The first sets represent 10 by 10 or sets of 100. And we have 2 hundreds sets of blocks. So let's fill in a 2 in the hundreds place. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 stacks of tens. So we have 4 stacks of tens. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 individual blocks, and they represent ones. So as we said, the first number in the hundreds column represents 2 hundreds. And then we have 4 tens. And we can rewrite 2 hundreds as 200, the number. And then the 4 tens we can write as 40. And then we have 7 ones, which represent the number 7. And if we add these up, we will end up getting 247 each time. So our answer, or what the blocks represent, is 247. Now let's practice converting numbers from expanded form into standard form and vice versa. So we have 400 plus 20 plus 7. So we can write that as 420 and then 7 by putting each number in their respectable column. So 400 plus 20 plus 7 gives us the number 427. In the next one, we have 600 plus 0 tens plus 9. So if we convert that, we would have 600 0 tens and 9 ones. So 600 plus 0 tens plus 9 gives us the number 609. And now let's try to do the opposite. Here we have numbers in standard form, 593, and I can rewrite that as the 500, which is what that first digit represents. The 5 is in the hundreds place, so it represents 500. The 9 is in the tens place, so it represents 90. So I can expand that out. And 3 is in the ones place, so that represents just 3. So 593 can be written as 500 plus 90 plus 3. Now let's use the same strategy with the bottom example, 810. So the 8 is in the hundreds place, so it represents 800. The 1 is in the tens place, so it represents 10 since there's only one of them. And the 0 represents the ones column, and there are 0 ones there. So 800 plus 10 plus 0 can be used to represent the number 810. Drag each digit to the left to see the number that's currently in standard form written in expanded form. Our first number that we have is 3,680. So the 3 represents 3,000, so we can put that out first. Then we have a 6 in the hundreds place, so it represents 600. The 8 is in the tens place, so it represents 80. And there is a 0 in the ones place, and it represents 0. So 3,000 plus 600 plus 80 plus 0 does equal 3,680. The next number that we have is 1,639. The 1 is in the thousands place, and it represents the number 1,000. So I can drag that out. The 6 is in the hundreds place, so it represents 600. The 3 is in the tens place, so it represents the number 30. And the number 9 is in the ones place, so it represents the number 9. And if we add up 1,000 plus 600 plus 30 plus 9, we do get the number 1,639. Take the number 235 and write it in expanded form. Well, the first number that we have here is a 2, and the 2 is in the hundreds place, so it represents the number 200. Now let's look at the next number. The next number that we have is 3, and it is in the tens place. So the 3 in the tens place represents the number 30. And then the last number that we have in our number in standard form, 5, is in the ones place, and it represents the number 5. So I can put a 5 right there, and that is how we represent the number 235 in expanded form, 200 plus 30 plus 5. Aside from writing numbers in standard form or expanded form, you can also write them in word form. 6, 13, 28, 70, or even 1 billion are all examples of how you would write a number in word form. You can also write numbers as a combination of words and numbers, such as this, 2 10s plus 5 1s. Write the number 235 in word form. Well, first we have a 2, and that is in the hundreds place. So we can write the beginning of our number as 200. And the next number that we have is a 3, and the 3 is in the tens place. It represents the number 30. So we're going to put 30 in this blank. And then the last number that we have is 5, and 5 is in the ones place, or ones column, and it represents the number 5. So when written out in words, the number is 235. Let's practice converting numbers between standard form, expanded form, and word form by filling in the blanks of the chart. Our first row, we're given the number in standard form as 753. We can rewrite this as 700 because the 7 is in the hundreds place, plus 50 because 5 is in the tens place, plus 3, which is in the ones place. And when we write out the number in word form, it will be 753. Now let's look at the next row. We have it given to us in expanded form as 100 plus 50 plus 3. That will give us a number of 153 in standard form, and if we write it out in words, that's 153. In the third row, we are given the number in word form as 75. Well, 75 is the 2 digits 7 followed by 5. The 7 is in the tens place, which represents the number 70, plus 5 in the ones place or column. So 70 plus 5 is 75. Now let's look at the next row that we have. Again, it's given to us in word form, 603. So that would be 600. There are no tens, so let's put a 0 in that column and 3 in the ones column. And that can be written in expanded form as 600 plus 0 plus 3. And again, the number 603. In the next row that we have, it's 900 plus 40 plus 5 is given to us in expanded form. We can rewrite that number with a 9 in the hundreds column or hundreds place, a 4 in the tens place, followed by a 5 in the ones place. And that number is 945. In the next number that we are given is 654. We can write that in expanded form with 600, since the first number is a 6 and it's in the hundreds column, plus the 5 is in the tens column and it represents the number 50, plus 4 in the ones column. And we can write this number out in words as 654. And the last one that we have is given to us in expanded form as 400 plus 60 plus 8. So we can write a 4 in the hundreds place, a 6 in the tens place, and an 8 in the ones place. And when we read this number, it's read as 460 8.